This is an easy one. How are you feeling?
Better.
What have you been able to do? Have they given you any indication on kind of the next steps that are ahead of you?
Well, I've been, as of late, just started to run on my own with my own body weight. Been on the court shooting, going through movements that I would probably have to get used to doing again. Um, Conditioning, sprinting, lifting, shooting, a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
Is there, I mean, obviously for various reasons, it's been tough for you to get in the court the last couple of years. And, does it just kind of feel like it's just, if it's not one thing, it's another when you found out you had this injury like right at the start of the training camp this year?
No, it sucked to have to be out, especially being in the position that we are in right now. But it happens. It's basketball, sports. Injuries happen. So I guess the thing that I can look at or try to look at to make it easier is try to find other ways to help our team, whether it be like being on the sideline, talking, being on the sideline, watching the game and trying to give a different perspective, whatever it is that I can help our team win. That's what I try to do.
We've seen Frank obviously at times this year really lean into going small with AD at the 5, and he just said that he views you as kind of the key to being able to unlock that and maximize that potential going forward. How frustrating is it to know that that's sort of what they're kind of waiting on, to be able to see that at its best, and you just haven't been able to be there yet?
Yeah, well, it's definitely frustrating, especially because there are so many different things that we can do with the full roster. But again, it's, God's time. Whenever He decides to allow my body to heal the way that it needs to heal for me to perform at the highest level, to be able to help our team.
You mentioned your full body weight in some of the workouts you're doing now. Were you doing pool stuff? Were you doing altered gravity treadmill?
Yeah, I was doing pool work. I was on the Ultra G, a lot of bike. What is it, like the ski thing?
Norditrack?
Yeah, whatever. Whatever, I don't know. But, man, it was a lot of conditioning, a lot of lifting weights to try to not get too far back. But
so you're, I think, 7 weeks about removed from the procedure now.
Yeah.
What's your expectation on the final ramp up, like time-wise?
I don't have like a definite like date or anything like that. It's all on when the doctor's clear or the way my body feels in response to more loading, more work. That's kind of like the gauge on when I'll be able to be out there safely.
The Trevor I remember first go around was kind of quiet. Now I'm watching you on the sidelines, talking guys up and more engaged. What's changed from that time to now? How much have you grown as a communicator and knowing more about the game?
Well, experience is always key. I've been through a lot of different situations and scenarios. And the thing that I've learned throughout my career, throughout relationships, throughout everything is the key is communication. So communicating and over-communicating is always a positive when you're playing a reactive sport.
And Trevor, Frank said, and a bunch of guys, AD, LeBron, have talked about the concept of you in certain lineups, like with AD at the 5, and how they need a wing that can actually, rebound, switch over onto other bigger players. Have you seen that way that you could fit in that specific way that they don't seem to have, and how do you, when you're watching the game, do you kind of game some of those scenarios out?
Absolutely. I'm always looking to learn, looking to try to insert myself in certain situations where I can see where I can help our team be better in certain situations. Again, that's why I over-communicate. That's why I'm on the sidelines, going up and down, talking to Rondo consistently about different scenarios, situations, talking to the coaches about different scenarios and situations, just to try to stay engaged so that I don't get too far out of what we're doing and where we're going. So when I am inserted and whenever I'm called on, I'm able to be caught up to speed.
Trevor, you just, you know, like you said, you've seen so many things over the course of your career. Earlier you alluded to kind of the state of the team right now and kind of where the team is. I'm just curious, because we haven't gotten your perspective on this. What's your outlook for this group based on what you've seen so far? I mean, is it the same degree of confidence you had on media day because we haven't seen the whole thing yet, or where are you at on it?
Yeah, I mean, of course, anytime that you have you're on the court or when you're a competitor, period, you just feel like you give your team a better chance of winning when you're out there. But this team is extremely talented, has a lot of different weapons. We knew, it takes time to build chemistry. It takes time to put things together, and we haven't done it with a full roster yet. So I bring a completely different element to this team. So hopefully, when I am able to participate, and Kendrick is able to come back and play, who gives us another different element to this team. The things that we do, the little things that we do can kind of put our team together. And, like, for example, like throughout my career, I've been kind of like a piece that you can just plug in and do a bunch of different things that make a difference. So whenever I get on the court, that's what I'm looking to do.
Trevor?
Hold on, we're gonna take some, Brian off of Zoom, and then Kylie will be the last question.
Hey Trevor.
What up?
Without making making age a big thing here, though, are there any things that you have to consider or do or keep in mind, given the length of the layoff and the mileage you have over the course of your career, to make sure that this is, that you don't end up hurting yourself again once you're able to come back and play?
Yeah, well, that's why being in the weight room so much, it's important. Being in the training room when it's open, doing all the things that's necessary to keep my body strong and strengthen the muscles that I haven't been using has been extremely important. Like, my days are like 5-6 hour days inside the facility, so we're making sure we're doing everything that we can do to make sure that coming back I'm safe and healthy to be on the court, to where I don't re-injure myself or injure something else.
Ms. Frank's talked a lot about how important you are to making this whole thing work. So, I mean, do you feel that? Is that sort of that pressure?
I don't feel pressure. I feel pressure is like a state of mind. I just, I'm excited to get back on the court when I'm ready to get back on the court. So, pressure would be if I'm not prepared, and I feel like I'm prepared for when that time comes. Like I said, I'm in the gym making sure that I'm strong enough to participate at this level, healthy enough, and the work that I put on the court, I'm gonna do that. So I don't feel no pressure.
Thanks, Brian. Kylie, you have a last question?
Yeah, you talked about how Russ was the guy who really called you to be on this team, and you guys are tight. The last 4 games, he's had a really good go, and he's been shooting more efficiently. It seems to have found his groove. What do you see from him that maybe gives you sort of optimism or comfort in seeing that he's kind of found a groove with this team?
I don't worry about Russ in any situation. He can, he's an unbelievable talent. He can figure it out anywhere he's gone. So that's not I don't think that's the issue. It's just about getting comfortable in the situation, learning how to play with other players that are ball dominant, and just figuring it out that way. But other than that, it's a learning process. He's used to having the ball in his hands making all the plays, doing everything. So it's an adjustment period for him to learn how to play in different positions.